Hey everyone, and welcome to another video. So I'm sick and hoarse and I can barely talk right now, but I really needed to get this video filmed because it's December already and I need to get this filmed and edited and scheduled for the first of the year. So today I'm going to go over my goals for 2024, and this year I'm doing something a little different because the last several years I've epically failed at meeting my goals, which is not necessarily a bad thing. It's just my priorities change throughout the year. So this year I'm doing something a little bit more exciting, both for you guys to watch and for me to do, where it's kind of like a video game where I get a reward system and I like level up for each thing that I do on my list, which my list is also split into categories. So we're going to go over all of that today. Also, because I am sick, I'm going to try to edit out all the sniffles and coughs and hacking and stuff. If I miss any, I apologize. So just bear with me here. So here we go. Okay, so first of all, the categories we have are outlining. Why is my face? Okay, so the categories that we have are outlining books, editing books, writing books, rewriting books, publishing books, any new ideas that come to mind that I want to try or test out in the year, my reading goals, because I actually am going to have reading goals this year, YouTube, and then any bonus goals that come around, and then personal goals for myself and my health. So let's go over each of these and break each of these down. So let's start with the first category, which is outlining. So I have a lot of books that I've been wanting to write for years. Some of these have carried over from previous, ignore my dog. Some of these have carried over from previous years and goals. By the way, I'll have them as a card up here for the previous years that I did videos for this, so you can see how much I've epically failed the last couple years. But anyways, so two of those, the most important ones that I want to get outlined and written this year, is Lost Magi, which is the new book in the Republic Chronicles, the third Mech Wars book. So that's the Mech Soldier and the Mech Network. I want to get the third book in that series outlined. And then the Game of Lies saga, I want to get the last book in that one outlined and written as well. After that, everything else is just things that I would like to get done, but these top three are the most important. So Thrones of Mythreach, so that's, you know, any one of those. I've got other ones already outlined, but I would like to outline more because I have titles and I have plans for so many books in the series. So I need to get some of those outlined. Mystical Companions Book 3, I've got a beat sheet done for it, don't have it outlined. Lightrise is part of my Shadowfall duology, so get that outlined. Any Calamity's Hope books, and then specifically Tsunami/Landslide. I don't know which one I'm doing, but Tsunami/Landslide is going to be the same book. I just got to pick out the disaster. And then Flood, and then Snowstorm, which is going to be the final book in the series. Bonus story, The Ronin, which is just a standalone thing, and then Children of Legends books, any other ones that I want to get outlined, and I also want myself to finalize the world for that. So those are my outlining goals. So I get a point for each of these books that I outline. And so there's 12 possible total points. I will read whatever books that I feel like in this case. So in this case, I will read, if I get 1 to 5 points, I will read a book from my to be read list, which may change over the year, so that may not be the same as my reading goals. 5 points, I get to read one of my books. And then 6 to 11, I get to reread a book I really enjoyed. For instance, the game of A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. And then 12 points, I get to buy a book off Amazon from my wish list and read it. Editing. So my thing that I realized this year was I have a ton of books that I've written and not edited that need to be edited and ready for publication. And since I've learned more editing techniques the last couple years, ignore my cat and my dogs, they're just making tons of noise. So I have a lot of books that I need to edit, and this is going to be my priority this year over outlining and writing. My bigger goal, my bigger category, if you will, is editing and publishing this year. My bigger goal is editing this year and publishing because I wrote a lot the last couple of years and been neglecting those. So editing, I need to edit Light Magi, Shadow Magi, Steel Magi. I need to finish editing Immortal. I've already started editing Immortal this year, but I'd like to finish it next year for sure. I need to edit Survivor, edit Remnant. Those are the two Valiant books, Valiant book 6 and 7. I need to edit The Blood Prince, which I just need to hear back from the beta readers, and when I get feedback back from them, then I can start editing it and finalizing it. I need to finish editing The Seamstress, The Last Man Standing, and I added The Crystal Heist because it's been on Amazon for a while, but I didn't really do a whole lot of attention to it. And I may take that one off because I filmed the audiobook for it, and so I can't really edit it without changing the audiobook. So I'm actually gonna I'll replace this, The Crystal Heist, with a book that I actually do want to get edited. Whisper, I can't think of its companion name right now, but its companion story / the Book Whisperer are both the last one. So in this category, I have 10 points possible, and I will play whatever games I feel like, and the games themselves in this reward list are subject to change depending on my mood, because sometimes I feel like playing one type of game over another. So 1 to 4 points, I will play a game on my PC, like Planet Zoo, House Flipper, RPG Maker, any sort of game that I find on Steam, that sort of thing. Which I'm thinking about doing. If I get 4 points, I will buy a new game on Steam. So okay, 5 points is I play a video game. I have this series that I want to do where author in a video game, I don't know exactly what it's going to be called, but it's where I make myself in a video game like Skyrim or Sims, and I act like how if I was actually there, I would basically do things according to how I would do it, me, Joanna. So that would work with Skyrim and Sims and any other game that I can figure out that it'll work with. So 5 will be that. But I'm thinking about okay, I may do buy a new house on Steam. House, I meant game on Steam. So 6 to 9 points, Subnautica Below Zero, Jedi Survivor, or just play a game on the Xbox. And then 10 points, buy a new game that I really want on any platform, and I get to play it. And by the way, I will be vlogging. If I do these things, like some of the books like that I write or edit, I do a vlog series for those. But I will try to do a vlog series of this where I talk to you guys. If I meet a goal, I talk about it, film the reward, and at the end of 2024, I'll either put it in a single video together or make a vlog series that I'll be releasing throughout the year. I haven't quite decided yet. I haven't quite decided which thing to do yet, but I think it would be fun to either film, like to do either one, where I film it, put it together at the end of the year, or release it throughout the year. Next category we have is writing. So I have a lot of books that I want to get written this year, but I'm trying not to focus so much on writing since I have neglected editing and publishing severely this year because of that. So Lost Magi, which is the New Republic Chronicles book, that's been waiting. It's been a year. I didn't write anything in the Republic Chronicles this year, so I need to write it and get that series going. Lightrise, again, that's the Shadowfall duology. And again, so those books that are in the outline category, a lot of them carry over that I want to outline and get them written this year. So the third Mech Wars book, the third Game of Lies saga book. There's a bonus novel for the Republic Chronicles. It was supposed to be an anthology, but one of the writers in there made his a little longer, so we decided to make it a novel, a collection of novels. So I got to do mine for that. Flood, that's the Calamity's Hope book. Tsunami / Landslide, basically depending on the disaster that I choose. Snowstorm, the final book, and then other Calamity's Hope books if there are any. If they're not, then this gets taken away. If I write any book in the Children of Legend series, once I finalize that world, figure out where the world is and what's going on with it. Mystical Companions book 3, and then another Throne of Mythreach book or books. And then bonus points for any of these extra books written. So I have Ashbourne and Etherheart, both are fully outlined. I just never got around to writing them. And then there's another story idea I had for called The Ronin, and I want to write it. I don't have it outlined or actually even planned. So The Ronin is another one that I really want to write. And then any extra arcs in Immortal: The Lost Journal. So it's fully written, but I do have other eras that I could write. And so any other arc, any additional arc that I add to Immortal: The Lost Journals does count as a bonus point. And then any extra books that I write that come up at random this year, because that always happens. I have my goals at the beginning of the year, and then I get random ideas and write those ideas, and it distracts me from what I want to do. So I'm leaving a space for any extra books that are bonus books that aren't on this list. And then I get extra bonus points if I write the entire Immortal TV show, which I would like to get done. I like to get that done. So all together here, there's 12 points total for the main. So from here down, up, I mean, there are 12 points plus bonus points available. So 1 to 4 points, I buy something from my online wish list. I start off on Amazon for one book written, and then I increase the price or increase the amount of things that I get to buy with each book that I finish writing between 1 and 4 books. And then 5 books written, aka 5 points, I get a subscription that I really want for fun, like World Anvil. If I change my mind and I don't want World Anvil, I'll get something else in place of that. But essentially, it's a big subscription that I've been wanting to get. So that's if I get 5 books written. 6 to 11 books written, I go shopping at a town and store, so like Walmart, Dollar Tree, Target. I start smaller at 6 books written, and I add a store with each point increasing up to adding, like, okay, I go shopping and like at 11 points, I go out to eat and then shopping at all these stores if I do 11 books written. At 12 books written, which is all the books on this list, I get to go out to eat at Fuji's in Jeff City to celebrate. And then the bonus points, I add a shopping spree in Jeff City for each bonus story that I write. So I get to shop at this store called Vintage for 1 extra bonus book written. Vintage plus Slackers for 2, and then Vintage, Slackers, GameStop for 3, and then all of those stores and any additional store in Jeff City that I want for 4 extra books written. And then extra bonus points for the Immortal TV script specifically. We will go see a movie in theaters if I finish writing the entire Immortal TV show. And then each book that I write this year, I want to buy a new little decoration for my writing nook and add it here for you guys to see somehow. Okay, hold on. Alright, the next category is rewriting. So I do have books written that just aren't that great. Hold on a minute. Please ignore my dog. He's a husky and he can't stop talking. Okay, so I have books written this year that, well, not this year, but I have books written that could be good if they get rewritten. Survivor's the only one on this list that I absolutely have to do. I have to rewrite the book before I send it to my editor. These other ones are all just books that are written that I'm not doing anything with, that I would like to get rewritten, and rewritten in a way that means they could be published. So Cast in Stone is this random historical fiction. It was originally part of one of my writing competitions that I did on Wattpad. I'd like to rewrite it and make it bigger and publish it. The Last Pendragon and the First Pendragon, so book 1 and book 2. The concept is really good and they're super marketable, but they're not long enough, and I think I rushed through them, so I need to kind of rework them a little bit. And then I was a writing competition judge and host for a couple years, and so I hosted 2 called the Fandom Games, the first one and then the second one, which was basically where a bunch of authors, when I talk too much, it gets me coughing again. So basically, it was where the writing competition was structured like the Hunger Games, where writers with lower scores would get eliminated until you have a final winner, and we would theme it around a certain theme. So a couple of those games was themed around fandoms just in general. The story behind it's pretty good, and I think I could tweak each one of those to fit into a universe or another, and so I'm potentially wanting to rewrite those to see. So 5 points total for the rewriting category. And so instead of awarding it for like each point, I did where I had board game day, movie night, video game night with my husband and sister and my mom if she wants to join. You know, she doesn't have to, obviously. So those would be for the first 3, and either reward can be for either rewrite depending on my mood. So say I finish Survivor and I choose movie night. Say I do Cast in Stone and I choose board game day. Like, it depends on my mood and, you know, what I want to do. Okay, so if I rewrite the First Pendragon, which is the second one in that series, and one or both of the Fandoms games, then we will do all of these in one day. So like a board game followed by a video game followed by a movie, plus we get to go out to eat. And so I'll add a thing that we do with each of the last books that I write, or rewrite, basically, if that makes sense. So say I only do the First Pendragon, then, you know, it'll just be one of those, like, we'll do a board game, whatever. And if I do one or both, like I said, we'll add a thing for each thing that I do on the last ones. Next is publishing goals. So Immortal, absolutely the main book that I want to publish next year, and I want it to be a huge party launch thing. Next up is Survivor, and then Shadow Magi and or Steel Magi. I've severely neglected the Republic Chronicles, so I need to catch up on those. And then I also have a lot of standalones that I need to release that I've never gotten released or whatever. So the Blood Prince, and an A standalone novel. So the Seamstress, Last Man Standing, are those. I want to do a Calamity's Hope novel, so I'd like to release another one next year. You know, I forgot to add Wildfire on there. That'll probably be Wildfire coming out. And then sign with a publisher for the Mystic series or the Book Whisperer. I'd like to get with a publisher again. And then any other book on my publishing goals list. I do have a publishing goals for 2024 and kind of each month laid out what I want to launch. I want to launch a book every single month. So any other book that may be on that list that's not on this list, or additional ones that I change out, because that does change as my goals change. So total 9 points. I really honestly feel bad that I forgot. I feel bad that I forgot to put Wildfire on here, but I don't want to change up the points. So Wildfire. Wildfire or another. So 9 points total. So between 1 and 3 points, I'll have a family dinner party at home with my immediate family. So my mom, my husband, my sister, and it gets bigger and or fancier with each book, with each point added. So like 1, it's just a simple thing. 2, it's a little bit fancier. 3, we have a huge family dinner that's super fancy that I put together. 4 points, I have an online party, dinner, Q&A live with my followers, specifically about the publishing I've done so far, just as a fun party celebration. 5 to 8 points, I do a family dinner with my family that doesn't live in the house with us, so non-immediate technically to celebrate. And again, it gets bigger and fancier with each point added. Sorry. It gets bigger and fancier with each point added. So 5 is pretty simple. 6 and 7 are a little bit more fancier, and then 8's like the fanciest I can throw. 9 points, I get to have a book signing at a local place or like a book party. I have a couple places that I could potentially do, so I'll absolutely check into that and do that because I've been wanting to. I'm just too scared. But if I did this, I would do it afraid because it would be a nice celebration for publishing all of these in 2024. And then each one comes with a new decoration for my writing nook. So the next category is new ideas, and this is the Cast in Stone is one of those that I've listed to rewrite, but I see a potential for it to be like a series. So potentially doing a series and maybe testing Kindle Vella. So that could be the Cast in Stone series could be a Kindle Vella series. I've never used it, so I thought about trying it. I'll buy and test it, and then if I do either one of these new ideas or any new ideas that come to mind, if I do any of them or all of them or whatever, I'll buy and test a smart notebook book, provided that we can afford me to get one. All right, now my reading goals. I started reading a lot this year in 2023, and that's something that I normally don't do, and so I'm excited to actually have some reading goals for next year. So I'm doing a 40 book challenge video. If I complete that video, huge accomplishment. I want to read the Anathalion series, all 4 books, which is my friend's series, and her 4th book is coming out in February, so it'd be nice to read them before then, but we'll see what happens. So I listed my TBR here but as a dot, but it's like not, it's just to list out my TBR. So my TBR list is all here. So we have 1 book for my TBR is a point, and then 2 books, 3 books, 6 books or higher, all 13 books on my TBR, and then 1 new random book. I'm leaving that open in case I find something random I want to read. The Once Upon a Prince series, buying them all, and then 1 to 2 books in the Once Upon a Prince series is also listed here. So there's 10 total points, 1 point per option. So between 1 to 4 points, if I read 1 to 4 books on this list, I get to read one of my books. So for every point, I get to read another one of my books. I love reading my books because I write what I want to read. And so it's not an arrogance thing. Like I'm, probably not that great of a writer, but I know what I want to read. So it's always a nice reward for that. 5 points, I get to paint with my mom and my sister if they both agree. If they don't feel like it, then I just paint alone and I do a video with you guys. I do like painting sometimes, and especially when I listen to music and paint what the music makes me feel. So that would be a reward for 5 points. Since I've been reading and reading and reading, you know, it'd be nice to like branch out into other hobbies. So that's kind of the idea behind the rewards here. All right, so 6 to 9 points. Other hobbies that I really enjoy doing, so I just get to pick a hobby and do it. And I listed a few, but I may change my mind and pick out a different one. But playing video games, watching a movie or a show by myself, watching a history documentary or a nature documentary, I add and increase one hobby for each point that I get. So 6 is just one of these, 7 is a little more, 8, 9, so on and so forth. And then 10 is literally just do whatever I want. So like a date with my mom and my sister, or a date with my sister and my cousin, or a date with my husband. Just go out with somebody and have a good time is going to be my reward if I complete my reading list. Basically, just going out and having a good time is going to be my reward for completing my reading goals in 2024. So my YouTube goals, I just want to keep up with the 3 videos per week. So Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Which Mondays are my main YouTube videos, Wednesdays are my vlogs, and then Fridays are Write or React videos. Keep up with that. Keep up with all Mondays each week, so I may not be able to keep up with the 3, but I at least want to keep up with every Monday. And then I really want to start writing challenge collaboration videos. So I'm like starting those. That's kind of a question mark. So for any of these that I do this year, I get a break. So if I do all 3 every week, I get a break from doing that for a week. If I do every Monday, I get a break for a week from a Monday if I choose to. So basically, just because I've just grinded, I just get to give myself a break without feeling bad about it. So bonus goals are basically just goals that I have in mind that don't fit into any category. So write Calamity's Hope books into movie scripts. I feel like the Calamity's Hope books, I actually have the Wildfire proof copy here. Wildfire, Earthquake, Volcano are the 3 that I have out. They would make really, really good movies. So I want to write them into a movie script. So if I write any of those into a movie script, that's a bonus goal. And then I also like making RPG Maker as like a video game maker. I have several different ones for each of my main franchises, and so I want to actually finish one of those. Would be a nice bonus goal to have. So for any bonus goal that I have, I get to choose the reward that I give myself, although not necessarily a reward from this list, because I don't want to give myself a reward on this list and take away the reward for that category. So just whatever I feel like I deserve for doing either one of these is what I get. And I just want to say right now that I can add a goal or reward on this list as my priorities change through the year. So I'm not going to take away from any of these things because, again, it counts as doing it or not. But if I think of something else as a bonus goal, I'll put it there. If I think of, oh, I want to write this book, I want to publish this book, I want to read this book, I can add it, and I can add and change the reward tiers as I feel like I think of better ideas for what to give myself as a reward, if that makes sense. And I have to cough again. I'm sorry. I'm almost done. So my personal goals, walking and exercising, eating healthier, and no McDonald's every week. I eat McDonald's way too much. It's super unhealthy. I don't know what to give myself as a reward for this, so maybe like a splurge day or rest day, but that feels like counterproductive because it's hard for me to do these things. So if I give myself a break, I'm going to fall out of it. So this is subject to change. I don't exactly have ideas for what to get myself, maybe like a spa day. Yeah, I think if I do these every week, so bonus points, so I get bonus points every week that I exercise regularly. I get bonus points for every week that I eat healthy, and I get bonus points for each week without McDonald's. So say I eat McDonald's out of 52 weeks, out of the 52 weeks, say I ate McDonald's for most of that, so I only had like 30 weeks that I didn't, or I guess we'll do 10 or 20 weeks. Like I'll get bonus, that's 30 extra bonus points that'll go toward, you know, the spa day, hair day, that sort of thing. So again, I can add and change. I can add any goal, reward, and change the goals as I think of better ideas for rewards for myself. And then if I do every single thing on this list in 2024, which is totally unrealistic and I don't think I'm going to. Provided that we have the money, I will get a weekend trip to Branson, Missouri, so like a mini vacation. And if we don't have the money, I can choose another smaller mini vacation that we can afford to do, like an escape room or something local, maybe a zoo. Basically, I get a mini vacation if I do every single thing on this list, provided that we have the money. So that is my goals and rewards for 2024. I hope you guys are excited as I am, and I'm excited to do this like video game style leveling up, giving myself goals and rewards for each goal that I complete. And I'm excited. I'm excited to actually check in with you guys at the end of 2024. But anyway, so by the time you guys are watching this, it is the first week in 2024. So happy new year. I hope you guys have had a wonderful start to your year. I look forward to checking in with you guys at the end of 2024 to see how I've done. Let me know what your guys' goals are for this year in the comments below so we can come back and check on it a year later. It's going to be super exciting. If you liked this video, please be sure to give it a like and subscribe for more writing and reading videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So in the meantime, if you liked this video, then check out this one where I went over the goals that I had for 2023 and whether I completed them or not. Check them out. You don't want to miss it.